yes. Devil's Island.
It isn't Devil's Island, it's the Wizard.
Would you correct that?
Correction of the Wizard. Take 1. I gotta say, I played that pretty good. Obviously, it's never perfect. That is a studio outtake of the song "The Wizard," again featured on Black Sabbath's Deluxe Expanded Edition, released by Warner Brothers with the bonus tracks and the original vinyl remaster mix from their debut album Black Sabbath, released in 1970. I noticed with these outtakes that are on these deluxe expanded editions of these Black Sabbath albums, these classic gems, I noticed that the outtakes are it sounds like, for this album in particular, the extra tracks on here, the studio outtakes, it sounds like the rest of the band, I think I said this in another video, it sounds like the rest of the music was already recorded, played live, like the foundation of the song, like the bass guitar, the rhythm guitar without the overdub, lead guitar parts, and the drums sound like they were recorded another day, which I believe was in October, live in the studio in 1969 when they recorded it, and then in November, I think that's when they added some vocal overdubs and some of the guitar overdubs. And the reason why I say that is because if you listen to the bass guitar, the drums, and the even some of the guitar work, it sounds exactly like the vinyl version released on the final vinyl album. You know, released on the original LP. But the vocals, I noticed, are the only, like in this song, I noticed the vocals and the harmonica sound a little different. So you could tell that it was a different take used on this version compared to the original album version. So like I said, they probably got the foundation of the album recorded live in the studio in October 69, and then in November, because I believe it tells you, yeah, it says studio outtake at Regent Sound Studios, was November 17th, 1969. So it looks like they only recorded a couple overdubs with the guitar and the harmonica and doubled Ozzy's vocals on a different session. But the drums and everything else sound exactly the same, because the fills and even some of the weird mistakes, like one part he hits a cowbell and real softly you can kind of hear him like hitting a tom. It almost sounds like he hits the tom by accident when he was trying to hit the cowbell. If you listen real carefully towards the beginning of the song, that same exact sound on the drums was used. You can hear it on the original album. So that's what makes me think that the backing track was already recorded. Regent Sound Studios, 1970, probably during the Paranoid session, maybe the debut, but I think it's the Paranoid session. There's another one. Released in the U.S. on June 1st, 1970, and released in February, Friday the 13th, in the UK in 1970. Again, like I said, sorry if you guys already seen my other videos, I'm like repeating myself. But again, I believe Bill Ward using the Ludwig Gray Ripple Oyster Pearl wrap finish color looking kit. It was like a little jazz kit. Very simple setup. There's Mapledurham. There's the Mapledurham Watermill house, 15th century. From the built in the 15th century, used in up until the 18th century. I guess it's a private owned house, still there today. Where the Erie photo was taken. This picture is a more modern picture of what it looks like today. Still looks the same, still looks eerie. There's the Warner Brothers cassette. When I first bought the album and heard the album, this is where I heard it. I heard it originally on cassette. I got this when I was about 12 years old. still have it today. It's in like mint condition. Even the case is perfect. I never play it because I have the CD version. And here's the original vinyl CD version. And that is Louisa Livingstone on the front cover, dressed up like a witch. If you look at her eyes, she looks like she's dead. She looks like a corpse. Let your body fall into its knees. That is the crow back there is a stuffed crow, borrowed by Keith, the photographer, from a taxidermist. It was a prop, obviously, and apparently there was a black cat used in the photo too that she's holding, but you can't really see it. I think it was edited out though. But apparently there was a cat used. Picture was taken about 4 a.m. in the morning, or maybe right at maybe I'd say it looks more like 5 o'clock. See a little bit of light. See the sun coming up on a freezing cold, bloody hell day in outside of London. Must have been a very creepy vibe to take that photo, with the wind blowing through the trees, or very ice cold, and this witch-looking woman in the woods taking a photo for an iconic album. Pretty cool. I said before, The Wizard was also released on Black Sabbath's first Warner Brothers released compilation Greatest Hits album, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, released in 1976. On the Black Sabbath Greatest Hits 1970 to 1978, the obviously the Ozzy years. I've showed these photos many times. I'm only going to show this one photo in here just to save a little bit of footage time, but there's the drum kit that Bill Ward was using supposedly on the album, the debut album. It's like a 60s Ludwig jazz kit. It's like almost like a Ringo Starr setup, very simple setup. And the wrap finish was a gray ripple. It was like an oyster pearl, like a black oyster or a blue oyster pearl. He has like a crash ride or a ride symbol right there. Then he had a splash symbol on mounted on a stand on the bass drum. And he had one floor tom on the bass drum, and a Ludwig 400 Superphonic chrome snare, and 14-inch hats, 22-inch kick, Ludwig Speed King, Ludwig and Premier hardware. Supposedly, by the research I've done, sounds about right. It was a small kit for Black Sabbath at the time, because that kit was like a little Beatles Ringo Starr kit, you know, and obviously Bill Ward's kit changed and got a lot more monstrous. That just goes to show you how simple it was in the early days. There's the front bass drum head seen on some of the early 1969-70 photos. Ludwig. There's the debut album Black Sabbath logo. I inserted the inverted cross. He did not have that, but I put it there. Look cool. But he did have this, the Black Sabbath logo, Ludwig. Sometimes he did not use a batter head on the bass drum. Sometimes he just had the batter head taken off the bass drum, and then the microphone just in the bass drum. Maybe a pillow or a blanket on the bottom to kind of fatten up the sound. Sorry again, I know you guys probably seen some of the videos. I'm sorry that I repeat myself, but if this is the first one you're seeing, check out the other songs I did, and the outtakes, and the instrumental stuff I did of Black Sabbath's debut album, Black Sabbath. wanting to do this album for a long time. Eventually I'll do the guitar work, but that's a little bit further down the road. I haven't got there yet. And so yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Rockstars92. By the way, TGIF. Cheers.